Should vaccine passports be mandatory to travel?
The question of vaccine passports is an interesting one because I think that we're all looking for some sort of assurance about our safety. I am not plugged in enough to know what the best route is for this sort of public policy, but I will say that I think those of us who are eager to be vaccinated and hope that a lot of other people are being vaccinated would love some sort of reassurance that we're safe.
I believe it's a safe way to travel since I've always carried a vaccination passport to go across different countries so far. I don't see why proving that you've had a COVID-19 vaccine or 2 or 3 would be any different than knowing that I've had yellow fever vaccines or any of those other vaccines that I use for traveling.
I think vaccine passports are a good theory. It does kind of separate some people that are immunocompromised, and it kind of leaves them out even though they're not able to get the vaccine. But in my opinion, I do think they could work. But it, again, isn't fair to everyone at the same time.
I don't think they should be mandatory, but I could see them being mandatory to attend certain functions or to get into certain facilities or to get on a flight. I have no problem with that. So you make the choice.
Yes, I believe that should be the case. We should all be vaccinated. So if people desires to travel, one thing for sure, we should be vaccinated to control the spread of this virus. I think that's one thing that we have to do.
I don't really know the answer to that question. I mean, that's up to the politicians. You know, for me as a citizen, I don't plan on traveling. I love to travel. I've been all over the world, and I have no intentions of going anywhere until things have really calmed down. 22, 23. So the answer to that is I don't have an answer. That's government.
I don't know. I feel like that's a very difficult question if they should be mandatory. I think it's kind of everyone's personal choice, but I do think that it's our best method to kind of getting back to a normal way of living, especially if people are wishing to travel in the future.
Should vaccine passports be mandatory to travel? I think it's a good idea. I think it makes sense in terms of keeping things organized, I guess, and can obviously contribute to stopping the spread of the virus. We have to have kind of some way to keep a record and to be able to show that you can keep a record. So yeah, I think it's a good idea.
Ooh, that's a good question. I see why in terms of like restaurant and terraces and certain businesses that maybe might be catering to people with a compromised immune system. But there's a lot of people that aren't comfortable getting the vaccine and that will leave them out. So it's hard to have a really solid opinion on it.
Oh, that's a tough one. Probably ultimately. Yeah, if we want herd immunity, I would think that's the only way to do it globally.
Shouldn't be mandatory. Should be. I think it should be strongly recommended in order to push people to get vaccinated.
I don't think so, man. I don't think so myself because I'm worried about other countries, you know, where they don't have so many resources. What's going to happen to those people? It depends. I guess it depends on how it's managed and how that comes to be, you know. But I worry about the people that, like in India, they don't have particularly access to the vaccine. So I don't know. Is that fair to the whole population everywhere in the world? You know, like.
I don't think so.
Why not?
I think it's gonna create like a difference between like the ones who have it and the ones who don't have it. And I don't really have a clear opinion on it. I just feel like it's not healthy to have this kind of policy in place.
I guess for international travel, yeah, I think so.
Why?
I think that for the most part, it's a question of conserving the big gains that we've done as an international community in terms of limiting the spread of the pandemic. And that's how I would see it. There's also a question of not wanting to bring what mistakes we may have done inside Canada to other countries and vice versa.
Yes, I think so. I think if we have to, if there's a solution to end this pandemic, the passport is one of them.
Absolutely.
Why is that?
I think, if people are going to be traveling, they definitely need to prove that, they've been vaccinated, because we don't really want unvaccinated people traveling all around us. Even though we're vaccinated and we should be protected, we still don't know exactly, how effective it's going to be yet. So it's hard to say.